This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 29 through 31. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Verse 30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Verse 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Facing the east, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakah Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and blessing and salutations to the hopefully elect members of the nation of Israel in these last days. Shalom, Makim, Shalom. The Most High's name is Yahweh, which means he exists. It is not Jehovah. It is not God. It is not Yahweh. It's not Yahuwah. It is Yahweh, which means he exists. And he broke his name down to Moses in the Paleo-Hebrew, which is the Lashawan Kadash. When you read Exodus, the 3rd chapter, and the 15th verse, all the way down. The pure language, the Hebrew tongue. His only begotten son's name is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves. He is the savior. He is the deliverer of the elect members of the nation of Israel. It's not Jesus Christ. It's not Yeshua. It's not Yahshua. It is Yahweh Shai. And when you call on those true powers, you must say Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Okay? And as Yahweh Shai said, he comes in his father's name. Okay? And the real 12 tribes of Israel, of Yashar Allah, consist of the so-called Negroes, so-called West Indians, so-called Haitians, so-called Jamaicans, so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called Native Americans, so-called Colombians, so-called Seminole Indians, so-called Mexicans. All the way down, we make up the real 12 tribes of Israel, of Yashar Allah. Yashar meaning son of the prince, Allah meaning power. Okay, and this your brother Uriah of the GMS Louisiana Saints Camp, coming back at you with another quick video, okay, entitled New York City UFO sightings in 2020 are up 283% from 2018. Let me say it again. New York City UFO sightings in 2020 are up 283% from 2018. And here's the article right here. All right, you can go Google it, okay, and get it and read it, okay, as I'm finna do right here. All right, it says, this has been one far out year. Why? Because Esau's kingdom, the end of it, is at hand, okay, and our redemption, Lord willing, Aparatazah, in the Hebrew tongue, is our redemption, man. We're going to be saved up out of this place. Real quick precept before I get into that. All right. It's the book of Luke. Say this with a smiling face, man, because this is exciting times, man. Luke 21 is exciting to read this, man. Okay. Luke 21 in verse 28. Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, meaning all the prophecies begin to come to pass, okay, the famines, the pestilence, the plagues, the thermonuclear weapons, okay, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And that's what we're doing, man, okay? We're seeing the signs in the heavens, man, which I'm going to do my next video on, okay? The signs in the heavens, man, the planets aligning themselves, the super moons, the blood moons, the solar eclipses, the chariots, okay? What Esau Edom, the so-called white man, calls UFOs, we know them as chariots. They're not UFOs. They're IFOs to us, the men of the Lord, identified objects, okay? So without further ado, let's get back into it. It says, UFO sightings across the city are up 31% from last year. And these things are increasing, okay? And it's not just over here in New York. This is just New York alone. It's just New York alone. It's not over here in New York. They all over. We see them down here in South Louisiana. Brother, see them in Chicago, okay? See them out there in LA. See them in Texas, okay? See them in Atlanta. See them in Florida. See them in Brazil. See them in Indonesia, the Philippines, over there in Russia, okay? They're everywhere, okay? Just New York alone. Compared with 35 and an eye-popping 283% from 2018 measly dozen, according to the National UFO Reporting Center. And it's just what they see. Because some of these, what you call planets, these stars that be out there are really chariots, man. They sit there all day, all night. Just how we seen the Jupiter and Saturn alignment last Friday. We thought it was two chariots sitting on top of each other, man. Or we thought the chariot was sitting on top of the moon. Okay? Or sitting on top of a planet. But there were two planets aligned together, man. These are signs in the heavens. We're at the end. Okay? How should I say, when you see these things, look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. And we're seeing them. Okay? 283% increase just in New York alone. So it says Brooklyn is tops in 10-4 hatters with 12 close encounters. Not far behind are Manhattan with 11 and Queens with 10. Staten Islanders claim just 8. Despite the boroughs, which means what? The little town, the area, okay, boroughs, okay, with the terminology they use up there in New York. For not social distancing, the Bronx is even more grounded, chalking up a mere 5. And I'm gonna say this right now: you've had all kind of close encounters with the chariots, where you saw even the so-called white man called UFOs. Okay, and you can look that up on YouTube. They've had close encounters with the chariots coming closer to these planes and everything like that. That's the Most High, okay, being using these holy angels to enjoy themselves, man. Okay. Because he gave the so-called white man the spirit and power to fly a damn plane. So when these chariots see these planes flying, they either go around them, go over the top of them, go underneath them, okay? Sit right there on the side of them. Oh, man. Hold on. Let me get that, man. The book of Psalms. Let me get that, man. We back everything up with scriptures, man. Psalms I'm so excited to read it. Psalms, I think that's 104. Go get 104 from the top. The book of Psalms, chapter 104. I'm going to start at verse 1 and read down to 3. Psalms 104 and verse 1. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my God. And that word God means power, Elohim in the Hebrew. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Verse 2. Who covers thyself with light as with a garment? Who stretches out the heavens like a curtain? It's the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua doing this thing like that, man. Creating the firmament of the heaven throughout the whole earth. Here it is. Verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters? Who maketh the clouds his chariots? Who walked upon the wings of the wind? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay? He's the one doing this thing like this, man. Increasing these chariots upon the earth right now, because we're at the end. Okay? And there's going to be more. And it's happening from 2018 to 2020, a 283% increase from that time in New York alone. How much more from 2020 all the way up until Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, all the way up until Yahweh Bashem Yahushua's return? Okay, how much more of an increase? 500, okay, 1,000, 144%. Okay, so it says two of the more memorable intergalactical incidents happened in the summertime on Staten Island and in the Bronx. Why is this information being brought out right now? Because you can't help but see them. Everybody is seeing the chariots right now. Okay, they're all over. And they come in many shapes and different forms. And I'm going to get that in Ezekiel, the first chapter. Okay? In the wee hours of July 21st, an islander spotted and stared at an oval, which what is a rounded shape. Another word for Esau talks about an oval. Okay? You have the Edomite Norman Begram, and you can go look that up. Norman Begram, Normanbergun, Norman Begram, saw the 7 foot, what he called 7 foot angels, but they're way taller than that. 7 foot angels getting off the ship on the moon. Go look it up. Norman Begram saw 7 foot giants, and he got interviewed with the so-called white lady who was the Edomite also. Okay, they did an interview together, and on that video, he simply stated they were the door on the ship, what he called a vehicle. Like he said over right here, he said vehicle on the video was at least 7 foot tall, and the angel was at the very top of it, was taller than that, getting off the ship. Go look it up, man. Okay, and they were very dark skinned, as it says in Ezekiel, the first chapter, when it calls them amber, very dark skinned, man. He said, oh, they were also black people got off the thing. Say not dark, they were black. I mean, very black. That's what he said out of his own mouth. Go look it up. All right, and it says, at an oval aircraft that looked and sounded like a helicopter. And we know that the sound of these chariots, man, if they were to enter into a rural area, a small town, a borough, like I said earlier, man, everything will be melted, man. Everything. Human beings, okay, all the elements are melt from the vibration of the sound of an angelic being entering into the earth atmosphere. All right? It says, then the mysterious flying machine, now they want to call it an oval. Then it went to sound like a helicopter. Now they call it a flying machine. It's a devil, man. Okay? Then the mysterious flying machine sent a surge of heat radiation through my body. The book of Isaiah talk about that heat. It's going to be the heat right here for you. Okay? It's going to be the heat for 2/3 of the nation of Israel, Esau, Edom, a so-called white man, and all the heathen nations. This is what you're going to be witnessing right here. It's your utter destruction right here. The book of Isaiah, chapter 66. 66 and verse 15 and 16. Isaiah 66, verse 15 and 16. Back into what I just read. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots, that's that word again, like a whirlwind. And that word chariots is plural, because he's coming with the whole host of heaven. Hundreds and thousands of thousands, as it says in the book of Psalms, which I'm finna get also. Okay? To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Verse 16, for by fire and by his sword, it mentions fire over and over again. Okay? And Salaki, and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So this fire that these Edomites, this heat, okay, that was coming from these chariots, that he felt his whole body, is going to be manifested physically, man. Was going to actually melt you, according to Ezekiel, the 20th chapter, man. Is not the Most High at consuming fire? His own self? Okay, let me get that. And that's in Hebrews. It's in Hebrews. It's in Hebrews. That Hebrews 12. Yeah, Hebrews 12, and I'm gonna start at 28. The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, and verse 28. Wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be removed, so like which cannot be moved. Let us have grace, whereby we may serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushua acceptably with reverence and godly fear. Woo! And we're serving Yahweh Bashem Yahushua with godly fear and all holiness. Okay? Because we know that the time is drawing nigh. Okay? The time of the Gentiles is being fulfilled, man. And we're about to go home. Okay? Abaradazai, we're part of that number. This is the whole duty of man. To keep the commandments and serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushua with fear. Why are you keeping the commandments? So you know not to go off. That's godly fear. Okay? Verse 29. For our God, well, God represents power, so we'll substitute that word with power. For our power is a consuming fire. And these chariots symbolize the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua as a consuming fire, as I'm finna read in Ezekiel the 1st chapter. Okay? So back into the article, it says, all right, it says the islander honestly thought it was the government putting something into the air with everything going on during these times, and I thought I would wake up and find it all over the news or on Instagram. No, buddy. No. These are the holy angels in these chariots. It's not no dream, okay? It's not no dream. Ezekiel the 1st chapter. Let's get it. All right? Ezekiel 1. I think that's in verse 3. Ezekiel 1, verse 4. Ezekiel 1 and verse 4. And I looked and beheld, so I can behold, a whirlwind came out of the north. Then I just read that about that whirlwind in Isaiah 66 and 15 and 16. That the Most High Yahushua is coming with his chariots like a whirlwind. Here it is again, precept upon precept upon precept. A great cloud, and the cloud represents what? A chariot, okay? It talks about that in Revelation, the 1st chapter, okay? A cloud represents a chariot, man, okay? Some of them saw him like Prophet Edris say, saw as a great mountain, okay? The chambers of the Lord, okay? The chariots of the Lord, yeah, that's what he saw, man. Let me get that, man. The book of Revelations, chapter 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. He cometh with clouds. I'm finna get that word clouds. And every eye shall see him. So when Yahweh Bashem Yahushua enter to the earth atmosphere, everybody's going to see him. All the Roman emperors from back then, they're right here, right now, here today. Every eye's going to see him. That's reincarnation right there in the Bible, right here. And they also, here it is, and they also which pierced him. So how can the Romans who was back then that pierced him be back today? Reincarnation. The Most High brings it back over and over again. I got to get a video on that, man. These spirits keep playing themselves back over and over, ready to receive their judgment. This is your judgment right here, man. Okay? And all kings of the earth shall wail because of him. Back in Ezekiel the 1st chapter, in verse 4. And I looked and beheld, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. So out of the chariot is the fire enfolding itself, because it's nothing but a ball of energy, a ball of light. When you look at the chariot, you can see nothing but a ball of light, man. And it goes so fast that you have to have an angelic body, an immortal body to be inside of that for something to go that fast. Okay? They can go up, down, side to side, around and around. Okay? They can reappear and disappear. Okay? And it says what? And here it is. And a brightness, that's that ball of light, a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber. So out of the midst thereof, here you're going to have the holy angels, okay? And that word, that color amber, goes into what? Bronze, a brown color, okay? The holy angels are very, very dark-skinned, okay? And all the Edomites, the top Edomites over there at NASA, they have seen them. Norman Begram, okay? He's one. Buzz Aldrin, that's another one. Neil Armstrong, he's another one. They have seen the holy angels, okay? They are very dark-skinned. And out of the midst of the fire, verse 5, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, which are who? Michael, the top archangels, 4 of them. Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael. Those are the 4 top archangels, man. Okay? The 4 living creatures. Okay? And just imagine seeing the holy angels walk through the planet Earth right now today. You would drop fucking dead, man, from seeing them. These angelic beings like this, man. Okay? How much more Yahushua, who is the first creature of all of everybody. Speaking of creatures, well, let's get that. Let's get that. Get them precepts. I think that's in Colossians. Colossians, the first chapter. Bear with me while I get it. Colossians, the first chapter. Colossians 1. Colossians 1 and verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible God? And we said that earlier. God, word God means power, Allahayim. The firstborn of every creature. Verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible. The things you see and the things that you don't see. Because you can see the chariots, okay, from being down on earth, way up in the firmament, okay? And then they could be sitting right there with the lights off, and you'll never know they're there. They're invisible. Yahweh Shah created all that. Whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. Okay? So back in Ezekiel, the first chapter, I had to get a precept to line up with that. All right? It says, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, which are the holy angels, man. So when you see these chariots, okay, it's not only Gabriel, Michael, or Uriel and Raphael riding in them. It's many other holy angels riding those chariots, man. Okay? I'm going to get that in the book of Psalms, or the 68th chapter. All right? So in the article it says, late on June 8th, a Bronxite watched 30 objects, which are what? Chariots, fly in a perfect line, in perfect formation. It tells you that in Ezekiel, the first chapter. They in perfect formation. Woo! In perfect, I can say this correctly, synchronity that look like a bunch of moving stars. They fly in perfect formation. Ezekiel 1. All right, and I think that's in it's so much. I got to get a breakdown on this. Ezekiel 1, all right, in verse 20. Ezekiel 1 and verse 20. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither. So whatever the angel said to go, the chariot went off. It ain't like you drive. It's not that you're driving a vehicle or a car, and you got to do it yourself. This all through the mind, through the spirit. That's right. They tell you right here. The mind is the spirit. Wheresoever the mind said to go, the chariot went. It's telling you that right here. And the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And they fly in perfect formation, man. Okay? Jumping down to verse 25. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over the heads when they stood and had let down their wings. Okay? Because when these angels fly, they cover one another. Okay? It tells you in Ezekiel 1 and 5. Okay? It teaches about the 4 faces and everything like that. Okay? When one angel goes this way, hundreds of angels or thousands of them follow this angel. When one go this way, the next one follow this way. The third one go that way, you follow behind them that way, man. They're gonna cover the whole host of heaven when Yahweh Shah returns, man. Hell, they doing it right now. All right? So back into the article, I'm all over the place, but it is what it is. All right? It says, the observer insisted, I don't drink or take any drugs whatsoever. I'm not a UFO conspiracy theorist. An eerie episode can happen anytime, anywhere. And it's thousands upon thousands of these angels everywhere, man. Let's get it, man. The book of Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 17. The chariots, it's that word again, of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So who delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt? It was Yahweh Shah. It's telling you that right here. The Lord is among them. And when the Lord comes back for this second time to gather his elect from the 4 winds of earth, as I read it on Matthew the 24th chapter, he's going to be in the midst of all the host of heaven of the holy angels. Hell, he's going to be leading the way, and the angels are going to be accompanied by him, man. It's telling you that right here. All right? So, lastly, bit of the article. Where am I at? 25 minutes, I went a little too long. On the night of September 15th, a Brooklynite stuck his head out the bathroom window of my second floor home and saw, and saw orange metallic orbs. That's the brightness of that chariot right there, man. The fire is what? It's like an orangish color, man. Okay? Orange metallic orbs standing still over the Conassi, Jamaican Bay area. Reported the stunned stargazer. By the time I called my son, they were gone. I could not believe it in my eyes. And these chariots have the ability to reappear and then disappear. That's why you read 2 Ezra 13th chapter, which I'm finna read. It's finna prove it to you right here. Proving that reappear and disappear right here. 2 Ezra 13th chapter and verse 2 Ezra 13. Yeah, 2 Ezra 13 and verse let's start at verse 6. 2 Ezra 13 and verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain. What the prophet Ezra saw, he's like, King David called them chariots, okay? Ezekiel called them, chariots also, okay? Or whirlwind, okay? Each of them had names on them, man. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain, because the chariot was so damn big, it looked like a mountain, okay? And flew up on it. Verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. That means Ezra could not see the end of the chariot. It was so damn big, man. That's why every eye is going to see him. Because the chariot is going to be so big, it's going to cover one end of heaven to the other, and he's going to be standing on top of it. Here it is. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew up on it. I mean, he's going to be standing on top of the chariot, looking down, okay? It's going to be a star-studded event, man. The greatest event in history, of mankind history, is coming to the planet Earth, man. Here it is. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, to what? To fight him. Revelation 12 and 7 is a precept for that, okay? All nations in the European Union, okay? Russia, China, okay? America, okay? Iran, okay? In the midst of World War III, they're going to stop fighting and turn and fight Yahweh while Yahweh shine the holy angels. Okay? And it says, verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid and yet durst fight. Why? Because the angels are going to reappear and disappear. When you thought you were seeing something, it wasn't there anymore, that's going to spook the hell out of you. When you see Yahweh shine, a big angelic being, very dark-skinned with all white hair on top of his head and an all-white beard, big like this, on that damn big, standing on top of a chariot, you're going to be scared as hell. What does it say? Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. So he's not going to be doing anything, man. Okay? The chariot's going to just let the missiles fly. Okay? Let the laser beams fly. To what the prophet Ezra said, all he saw was the smell of dust and smoke. Because everything was evaporated. Prove that to you. The book of Revelation, close it out right here. The book of Revelations, chapter 12 and verse 7. Here it is, backing up what I just said. Okay? Dust and smoke, huh? You saw dust and smoke, huh? Let's get it. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael, that lines it up right there. The top archangel Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is NATO in the EU, okay? And the dragon fought and his angels. So the Most High can put his spirit on these nations, okay? Even they're going to be scared to fight back, man. Exodus 15 and 3, the Lord is a man of war. He wants to see a fight. Verse 8, he wants to see his son take you down, man. and prevail not, Daniel 79, okay? Neither was their place found any more in heaven. That's why every say saw nothing but dust and smoke, because their place was found no more in heaven. You're cast out, you're down. As King David said, man, Psalm 17 chapter, and 13 verse, cast him down. Esau's going to be cast down. Your place is going to be found no more. It's going to be a wrap for you, man. All right, so I hope the video was edifying. Like I said, you can go get this article off the internet. New York City UFO sightings in 2020 up 283% from 2018. Facing the eastern corner, Daniel 6 and 10 and Ezekiel 8 and 16, giving all infinite honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and blessing and salutation to the elect men who continue to push this truth throughout the four corners of the earth in these last days. Shalom, Makim, Abal Babal, Kwam Yashal.